So with our lovely Miss P, we're going to try a little bit with going to our place, our little spot. Nice, good job, cuteness. So if, again, we haven't worked this one as much at home, don't worry. The main goal in the beginning is I just want Miss P to think that there's value in going and checking out her little targets. So ready? We might go bed or place or mat, whatever slogan you'd prefer. If, again, you haven't picked a lovely slogan for the behavior, no big deal. Nice. But right now I'm just making all the fun happen as she goes and targets the mat. So again, we might go again, bed. Yes. Oh, I dropped that one. That's okay. She'll maybe find that one later. So right now, as she's working, going to her spot, she does want to, again, to build up value. This is where we're starting to work on the beginning stages of going to a target, working a bit with a settle, and then applying potentially our lovely stay behavior to this exercise. So when you're first starting, she's like, oh, those are delicious, is I would recommend to keep the distance between you and your puppy not super big. So you'll see that right now I'm working very short little intervals where the food is kind of almost rapid fire, because I don't want my lovely to think that getting up has more value than staying still. So right now, remember, view stay is almost freeze tag with room service. So as she is stuck, then let's say we want to end it. We'd say all done. We could add a little bit of touch if she doesn't dislike touch, and then we'd get her up and wiggling. So you'll see that I don't give any food for breaking. We could get her back into her little place. Nice. Then we could stay, I can't talk. We could remind her to stay. And then I'm going to feed her several snacks while she's stuck in her stay position. She's like, guys, I hear noises again. So when the heat comes on and off, she does get a little unsure. Oh, there we go, a little itch into a down. If your babe prefers to do down stays versus sit stays, again, I really don't mind. I find that sometimes actually the down stays are even better because it can help your puppy build up duration, and being stationary has value, where for a lot of the puppies, being stationary in one spot seems a bit silly from their perspective. So right now we're working a bit with the stay. I'm going to go ahead and feed her several snacks while she's stuck in her down stay. And you'll see that right now I'm just working on the time frame. So we're maybe counting 1 to 3 seconds between each snack. If this was going amazing, you might do 5 to 10 seconds. Remember that as your puppies start to understand skills, you can start to increase your duration, you could increase your distraction level, and you could increase your distances. But if you're doing for all 3 at once, more than likely your baby is going to have a really hard time with making it that difficult that fast. So right now you'll see that again, my ability to have her relax and stay stationary is getting easier, of course, as she's getting a little bit tired, but I wouldn't do this if your puppy was overtired either. So a lot of times if your puppy has a hard time relaxing, then we may find that having them work this when they're overtired may not be a good setup for either. So we'll go ahead and we'll again keep feeding a couple little snacks throughout. Do you guys need any help? Or are you good? Okay, we got to share, okay, guys? Okay, so we're going to be, again, working a little bit with some of these stays, and then I'm going to end the behavior again. I'm going to feed her last little snack for doing a great job with her down stay, and then when she's all done chewing, I want to make sure that the only time she's, again, getting the food reinforcements is while she's stuck. So with stay, unlike wait, you're reinforcing stationary. And then this way, while she's stationary, if you stay like stationary statue or stay for safety, and it's again, room service with freeze tag. So she's stuck and she'd be getting fed throughout the stay position. With the wait, she's gonna be called out of it and you're gonna be working those recalls to you from the wait. So again, feed her one last little snack for doing such a great job. Let her finish it up, and I'm going to go ahead and go all done. And she's like, that sounds wonderful. It's a nice little belly moment. Oh my goodness, what a good job, cuteness. So again, from here, we'd see if we can get her up and wiggling. She's like, no, I'm done for the day. If your puppy gets a little bit stuck, I don't like to feed for the release, but I might in the beginning, if let's say she's having a harder time, I might lure her, see if I can get her up and wiggling. She's like, oh my gosh. And then see if we can get her up and moving just for a moment. So typically I would never feed the puppy for breaking from this day, but sometimes when they're getting a little bit tired, I do want her to be able to take a break and leave her stay position. So if in the beginning you need to kind of help them out of it, ready, bed, then you can of course do a little bit of in between, sort of where you're shaping up to the big boy, big girl skill. She's like, oh, those crumbs look delicious. So ready, Pops? So we'll get a little sit. We'll tell her to stay. She's like, would you like a high five? and I'm gonna feed her for this. So again, we're feeding for being stationary. So right now she's doing a sit stay. So I'm gonna feed her several little crumbs while being there. If, let's say, this was going amazing, you could add a little bit of movement or some wiggling. But if this equaled your puppy got up, I would reset them up and try again from another stationary position in front of her. So that way you're not adding too many distractions. So again, we're feeding. Nice, yes. She's like, I thought I dropped that bad boy. Yes. And let's say we're gonna, again, she's like cracking funny noises. And again, we're gonna feed. And now before I get to lose my lovely to the environment, I'm gonna say all done, and then get my little girl to get on up. Beautiful. So you'll see that the only time she's getting the reinforcement is while she's stuck in stay. Stay can again happen anywhere. So it doesn't have to be on a dog bed. You could set her up anywhere in the environment and work those stays. But the reason I like to pair my stay with the bed, it allows my dog to also practice going to a target and then implementing that the target can equal relaxation and settling in the spot, which is very beneficial. So our lovely Miss P did a very nice job with some of these stays. We're going to give her a little breather and then get her in for her little nap and rotate through the beauties again. So nice job, Miss P. I know, those darn itches.